Savannah from Black Witch Coven, as you probably know. And this month I've only had time to shoot videos. Once again, well, public videos, only have time to share with you the Ask Savannah question and answer style video and give you a quick little update with what's been going on with us this month. But in terms of what's going on with us, it's just the same old, same old. The only challenge that we've really had this month was from Amazon Pay. Now, I love Amazon. I'm an Amazon junkie. Living here in New Orleans, you order something and it comes to your door almost the minute you thought about it. No, I'm lying. Probably the next day, and or 2 days maximum. It's pretty awesome. But it's interesting they're breaching out into other services, and so Amazon Pay connected with us and said, hey, we want to be your e-commerce, payment gateway, add it to the PayPal offerings. And if you're on the left-hand path, or you offer tarot readings, or you have a little witchy business, even if you sell witchy products, unless you're under the protection of a big brother, say an Etsy, you're really going to have trouble having some larger institution offer you their services, because they don't want to be seen as cohorting with us negative people. And so the reason why I'm sharing this with you is because we did offer Amazon Pay for a period of maybe 3 or 4 days before, maybe about, 12 clients bought with Amazon Pay. And Amazon Pay, seeing the doom candles, the death unto my enemy, other suppliers call them blacklist candles. We, being the honest sort of group we are, just say, yeah, it means death unto my enemy. That's what doom candle means. It's a cursing, it's a baneful candle that you burn. It's like in all the botanicas and anywhere else you go, like if you want to get someone out of your life that's causing you harm, you burn that candle. But they've seen that to be not favorable. They didn't want an organization like us supporting someone like us. So they not only kept all the funds that people had paid in, they won't even communicate with us right now. So don't worry, we're on top of that. We won't say what's going on, but we're on top of that. However, I just wanted to point out the hypocrisy of services such as this, because I feel like if we don't talk about it, then we just let the larger organizations get away with really shitty behavior. And I'll be talking about this in this video. I'll be talking about David Icke. A client last month did write in and ask what I thought about David. And I do have some thoughts about him. But, and I'm not a conspiracy theorist, I'm more of a realist, where, Big Brother does control, and even in the society, probably you out there in this cancel culture society where everyone wants to be seen as doing the right thing, the perfect thing. Getting back to it, Amazon Pay, Amazon sells doom candles. If you look it up right now, Amazon sells blacklist doom candles. The same candles we sell, it's a couple of dollars more, but they're selling it on their website. So Amazon, we don't want you anyways. We're more than happy with PayPal and hasta la vista. Anyway, you can see that I'm a little bit annoyed about this. It's not the first dance we've done with organizations like this. Stripe has been another one, and there's probably been a few others over the years, but we're doing well anyways. We're not that, cut about losing Amazon Pay. It just annoys me that these people come and market to us. They want our business. And then we say, okay, we'll let you in the door. Then they're hypocrites and judge us for selling something that they're already judging. So I'm not saying people run away from Amazon, because obviously I love Amazon, but it's their certain branches. And once again, we all need to be mindful of this and speak up versus just worrying about fitting in all the time. So let's get straight into this conspiracy theorist, David Icke. The question was, have you ever read David Icke's books on his view of the world? What do you think? No, I've never read his books actually. I know people who get heavily into his books and videos and they seem to suffer mentally. It almost makes me think his books are cursed. I am assuming he does well financially though. I suppose I should start back and say that years and years ago, I really, my ears perked up when I heard somebody talking about the alien or the reptilian race, because this is the way I first experienced what I call Lucifer. And so I believe that most of our ancient gods, well, of course, gods, they're from another plane, aren't they? And they're out there in the universes. So, of course, they're extraterrestrial, if you want, because that's what we call creatures that don't live on this planet. So that's not if we want to think about definitions, it's, you know, sure, all our gods are extraterrestrials, okay? Maybe I'm taking that too far, I don't know. When I heard him talk about the reptilian race, that to me makes sense. That's the way I've seen a lot of the ancient gods or demons, if you will. That's how they appear to me. So really I was happy that a guy that's not a witch or in to the left-hand path also validates seeing or interacting with energies that aren't from this planet. Now, of course, he has his own theories. He believes that politicians are actually reptilian. I don't know. I haven't read his books. Maybe they are. But I believe that aliens have come down throughout the centuries. They have interacted with us. They have shared their knowledge with us. I believe that there's many different types or species. But about the individual David, do I think, well, do I like him? Do I not like him? I think we need more people like David Icke. Doesn't matter how radical they are. He's not hurting anyone. He's just researching and sharing the knowledge. So I don't think Big Brother, aka Facebook, YouTube, or any other social media platform should silence this guy, because it's not his own information. Now, he's a researcher. He's found out things like Nostradamus predicting 9/11. Did you know that that was a predicted event? Now, thank goodness Nostradamus isn't on YouTube, because he'd have his account banned. Now, David's also done a lot of research, and I can't do credit to the amount of research he has done, because I've looked into it a little bit, but Nostradamus also predicted the coronavirus. I'm going to leave you with what it says in this little quote here about what Nostradamus wrote in the 1500s about this virus that's going to come over and change the world economy as we know it today. So let's not write off David or his followers, and let's really look at Big Brother and what Big Brother is doing to control the information that we receive. Big Brother wants us to get politically approved messages in a socially approved manner. Now, I read this book in, I think it was high school, 1984, George Orwell, and I'm going to leave you with some of their quotes across the screen from George Orwell's book, but it is available on Amazon. If it was written 70 years ago, but I think you should look at what George Orwell said about predictions of the future of the world and how we do eradicate history. We rewrite history. We want to control everything. But to get back to the question, I think they seem to suffer mentally. I mean, I just find people that are heavily into conspiracy theorists right up there with philosophy students. Sorry if this is you, but they just go on and on and on. And then you say, well, what are you doing with your life? What are you doing about this? What action are you going to take? And they're not going to do anything. They just sit there and yap on about it. So if this is you, good for you. But as a Luciferian, as a witch, as a practicing occultist, I already know there's energy everywhere. We've been tapping into this for like centuries now. That's what a witch does. That's what a wise woman does. That's what a sorcerer does. We know that the veil is very thin between the planes. So to get back to the question, no, I think a lot of what he says is kind of truthful. He has a unique way of putting it forward, and I just think it really is a shame that big institutions shut people who don't have a grandfathered in viewpoint. They shut them down. They don't allow them to have an audience. However, you've got what I mean by grandfathered in. We've got to remember that the modern religions are only 2,000 years old. Man has been documented on this planet for over 60,000 years. That's documented evidence. Obviously, we're billions of years old, right? These are big numbers to get your head around. And we have been tapping into the ancient energy for the majority of the time. It's only been in the last 2,000 years that we have been reprogrammed to think a certain way about how life is, what God is, what we need to do. It's if you haven't read the book 1984, you're kind of going to get where David Icke is coming from as well. And I totally agree that we are being really programmed. We're too scared as individuals to say what we really think and feel because it's going to annoy other people. And he does well financially. I'm not sure. I hope so. In this question, Kafa asks, can somebody work with angels and demons, or does he have to choose between the two sides? Let me keep this really simple. So I'm going to give a really short response, and that is no, I don't believe that you should work with both systems. I do believe that you would achieve a better result if you just pick a team and be loyal to that team. This is from Esme. And Esme says, good day. My question, since from a young age, I have liked reading about witchcraft, demons, Satanism, and so on. I have never really tried witchcraft, but have always wanted to. I find everything about it interesting. But due to the way I was brought up as a child, these things were not allowed. I am now a mum of 4, and still I have this urge inside me that I cannot explain, that is something I have to try or practice at least. I even have very weird dreams now and then. So can anyone just start on this journey no matter what your age? I don't want to be old one day and regret the fact that I have never done or tried what I really wanted to do. That's such a good question, Esme. I think, can I just add here that some of my clients, I've had such wonderful conversations with clients who are in their 60s and 70s, and quite often they'll say, I know that I'm a little older to start, but I'm so happy that I went into this path, this magical path. Now, of course, a lot of them will say, Savannah, we like you, but we don't like the style of magic you're currently practicing. We don't feel comfortable, with the whole way demons are projected and so forth. And I get it and I understand it. And that's why I never say to someone, the left-hand path is the best and you should come directly over here to have the best results, because that's not true. You can have the best results on any path, just be passionate about it. And if you're not passionate about it, then, you don't have to do something just because everyone thinks that you're, for example, practicing Wicca. And if Wicca doesn't make you happy, bring you joy, then change. Who cares what someone else thinks? Because you know what? They're not living your life. They're not, are they paying your rent? Are they helping you along? Like, just do what you want to do if you really want, if you really want to be happy in life. Worrying about the opinions of others will not bring you joy. Now, I just went and pulled a couple of books off my bookshelf. Well, there's 2 spell books, I think, right now that I kind of really like. And excuse my bastardization of my pronunciation of these authors' names, but is it Judica Ikes, her books? um, she's pretty straightforward in the way she presents her spells, and you can tell this woman actually practices magic. When you read a lot of and we're guilty of this because some of the authors from our website or people that have worked with us in the past, they'll put together a spell and I'll say to them, you know, you've never cast that spell. And you can tell when you read it that you haven't even put those ingredients together. You don't, you know, you've just probably got influence from something else and you just put it on the page and thought you'll share it later. You know, I go on and on at my people about this as well. But this author, you can tell that she's actually tested a lot of her spells. So I like her works. The other spells, that's a Cassandra Easton. She's okay too. She's got a very pretty book. Well, let me just say it's quite good as well. I like this book. Let me not be a critic. Now, Matt Oren, I haven't read a lot of his material. I just flicked through some of the items or the exercises that he has in his book. And of course, I like to practice with the planetary correspondences. And in the back of the book, he's got what he calls exercises, and they're very straightforward. So it doesn't require a lot of reading or study to understand what he's saying, and you can put that into action straight away. So this kind of makes sense if you're newer to magic and you don't want to invest a lot. You just need to consider some of the planetary correspondences, which he's already explaining in the book, and just get on with it. See if you like it. But I will say, even if you get all three of these books, what you need to do is practice. Don't just do anything once and say, well, that sucked, that didn't work, and throw it over your shoulder. Try it. Like, for example, if he's talking about doing, I don't know, money magic, he'll probably be talking about it, doing it under the planetary power of Jupiter. You'll probably talk about a Thursday. Yep, he is. So he'll tell you it's a Thursday. It's under the influence of Jupiter. Do it then. It's basically a dummy's guide. So, but do it every Thursday. And if you wanted to take it a step further, do it every Thursday during a waxing moon period when the moon is on a growth cycle. That's the most auspicious time. And after 3 months of doing it twice a month, then decide, does this really work? Okay, so that's my thought about that. But I don't know, if you're later in life and you have time to really not just go into magic, but look at how do I fit best within my environment? How do I appreciate my world? How do I appreciate my environment? How do I interact with not just other people, but with creatures and you know, with the planet? Then I like books like this, The Path of Paganism. John Beckett wrote this, and well, I'm a pagan, obviously, and I'm very passionate about paganism. And so I think not just witchcraft, but actually program your mind with something like this, you know, the old path. You know, this is who we all are. Doesn't matter which religion you're from. We are another creature or animal on this earth interacting with our environment. And I feel like that's what paganism sort of gets us back down to, into those roots. So the next question is from Linda, and Linda asks, please talk about Pazuzu on a video. He isn't on the demonology list on the website, or at least guide me to where I can get more info. Thank you for sharing all that you share, Blessed Beast. Linda, I think on our Black Witch Coven website, we have a bunch of information on Pazuzu. I think about 3 years ago or so, I might have even spoke about him on a video. And it was because a friend of mine here in New Orleans is actually a collector of like relics, ancient relics, and has an original Pazuzu statue. And so he's a medical doctor. And it makes sense that a medical doctor would have Pazuzu, because Pazuzu is a protector demon, or a protector spirit. And it said that he is the one that can scare away other demons. And so it was interesting in the Exorcist movie that the director cut away, I think the demon was leaving Reagan. I can't quite remember the scene. I remember the visual, and they show this image of like the demon Pazuzu, and the music's like and, I love the movie. It's one of my top 10 favorite movies. But it's like, man, you just really lost it there, because Pazuzu isn't the evil demon that they made out in this movie. But I suppose he looks really good, and I suppose there's lots of relics there of him. But yeah, he's a protector demon, and so he's not like one of those other ones that are prone to attacking people. So I'll find a link from our website, and I'll put it under this video, or put it in the blog post that I normally have attached to these videos. But yeah, to me, Pazuzu is a beautiful spirit. All right, next question is from Jerry. Now, Jerry asked, Savannah, I think you were great. Oh, thanks. I follow your YouTube vids religiously. Thank you for all that you do. As a witch, how do I deal with, or get rid of a poltergeist? Are they demonic types of spirits? Most seem to be, to myself. I have searched and searched trying to find an answer, but this to no avail. Thank you, Jerry. Now, I did circle back to Jerry, and I asked him a question about that, and I said, are you talking about a poltergeist that is visible or moves physical objects around the room? And he said, I guess both, but more on the ones that move physical objects, throwing things. Just would like to know how to deal with either. Are poltergeists like regular spirits? Can they be removed with sage, talismans, or other forms of spiritual work? Now, this is a great question. Once again, something that I've kind of covered over the years, but poltergeists are, they're quite unusual. To have a poltergeist in your house that actually moves around things, it's an unusual situation. And so when people come into us and ask, they're wanting a service to help with a spiritual disturbance in their home, I'll always say, are you feeling it yourself, or is it manifesting in your environment? Is it attacking you? Is it affecting the animals? We go through all of these questions because there are so many different types of spirits, unseen spirits. Now, when it comes to poltergeists, this is something quite different. A poltergeist is something that comes in and creates a disturbance in your home, one that you can literally see or hear. Generally, it's coming through a vortex or a porthole that has been opened into your home. So if you ever watch the movie Poltergeist, the first one, because I think that was one of the best, it's not wrong that there was a porthole open and that ended up being a gateway for lots of different types of spiritual entities. And what you have to do is close off that porthole. And you cannot smudge that away. You can't put crystals there and stop it. You need someone who is who has had training in dealing with that level of entity. Otherwise, you yourself will end up being attacked. It's not impossible. You just need training in it. That's all. Well, and I will say you do need to be able to open up to see beyond this veil. But most people that have that gift, I think you're kind of born with it, and then you work that skill and you're able to use it whenever you want. Otherwise, it's very hard. You can do it, but it's very hard to nurture that skill. But it is also with poltergeist, individuals can attract a poltergeist energy. I've spoken about this in other videos where my youngest is catnip for the spiritual world, because in her past life she was kind of what I am now. And from what I've been told, she was a darker entity. She was the big bad sorceress, if you want. And some of that stuff is always trying to connect with you in your lifetimes. So I spoke about before how we are blinded. You know, when we come back, because I believe in reincarnation, when we come back into these vessels, we're shielded from what happened in previous lives. And there's a reason for that, because if you remembered all the times that, you know, somebody died, a loved one died, or the torturous way that you were treated in a past life, or having the guilt and shame for what you did to other people in your past life, it would be very hard for you to get on with it in this lifetime. We're shielded. But spirits from a different plane, they don't have to be shielded from it, so they can come back in. Now, that's just one example. Not every poltergeist situation is coming back into specific lifestyles in order to attack you. That's not it. Sometimes it could be, for example, like in the movie Poltergeist, where they built on an Indian burial ground. That was the plot of that movie. And so they created the vortex. But there's many different ways. But basically, you need someone that's going to go in there, be able to tackle it on their plane. So you've got to be able to connect with them, the poltergeist energies, get them to move along, and then be able to have the energetic gift to close the porthole. After it's closed, then you can go along with your sage and smudge the area, clear out a lot of the negative energies, the negative vibrations, the residual energy that is remaining. That's all I have time for today, but I want to thank you sincerely for listening and hearing my perspective. And as always, if you have your own experiences or want to share your experiences, submit it to us. If you want us to put it as a blog post on our website, we're more than happy to do so. Catch you next time.